It's review time, baby! Well, here we are. End of the road, my friends. We completed Bluefire, and what a wild ride it was, and I am so sorry for taking so long to make this video. Bluefire is a 3D action platformer developed by Roby Studios and published by Graffiti Games, with a $19.99 price tag on Steam, or £15.49, or €16.79 for all the European folks. First, taking a look at the settings, it is serviceable for PC users, but could have been better. Mouse is not usable in the menus, so a gamepad is certainly recommended, and you have most of the basic options. Textures, shadows, post-processing, and anti-aliasing. Screen resolution is actually just resolution scaling, and there is no option to change the actual resolution in-game, which kinda sucks. Motion blur is weirdly found in the game settings menu, as well as sound settings, which really deserves its own audio section. You are able to rebind all keys with the exception of movement keys and jump. Kind of a weird choice, I guess. I may be just a madman, but I would assume if you're gonna have key rebinding at all, you'd give it to all keys, not just some of them. And if you're just starting the game, some keys are replaced with question marks instead of the actual ability that it's used for, which is a tad obnoxious. I don't really want to have to go back to the settings and rebind keys every time I get a new ability. And they also have some extra nice things to have, a whole host of camera settings to tweak it to whatever is most comfortable for you, and an in-game timer for the speedrunners out there. Aesthetically, it has a minimalist design, and you can really tell it's a love letter to the design mantra of Breath of the Wild, with a bright color palette and motifs like the bubbling goopy corruption that surrounds the various lands that you'll travel. This, combined with large empty spaces and set pieces, gives a feeling of loneliness and a somber tone that I felt throughout the core of the game. Each area is divided into its own archetype. One section is sewers, another a large empty castle, or a lava room. Character designs are okay. Nothing really stood out to me in particular, and as I'm writing this, I'm coming to the realization that this might have been an intentional choice to keep the concept of minimalism, but unfortunately made the character designs largely forgettable. The music is fantastic. Ariel Contreras-Esquivel? God, I am so sorry for butchering the name. I can't speak and do the language that great, and yeah. Ariel really shows his talent with this soft, haunting, and soft, driving music style that just echoes from your insides all the way to your outsides. I love it, really. The game is just filled with vibes, and the music is one of the reasons. Just listen. Look, I'll be the first to admit that platforming is not really my forte, as much as I love my variety of parkour games, so I'm very aware of my bias in this department. The platforming is pretty good, reminding me of something akin to a 3D Super Meat Boy with plenty of options that allow for creative routes to solve the same problem, some intended, some probably not. The combat isn't anything to write home about, often feeling a little sparse, almost like an afterthought into what is primarily a platformer, and while there are upgrades, a good portion of them are very well hidden, and in my personal playthrough, I found very few upgrades that felt worth grabbing. I still don't know what constitutes a spin attack, for example. Why? I don't know. The enemy diversity is good enough, nothing really stood out as super unique, but they were entertaining enough. A couple of explodey dudes, some freezy dudes. Look, they aren't anything that jumps out at you, but it does the job, and that's what matters. The game runs similar to the Zelda series core gameplay of traveling to each area's temple, beating the boss, acquiring the next upgrade, and then moving on to the next temple, repeating the process. However, they also have additional platforming sections that can be found around the map that give you health upgrades and are going to be the most fun parts of this game. As an aside, they released the Voidmaker DLC that is an expansion and also allows you to build your own maps. That's super cool. The game runs about 10 hours worth of gameplay, give or take. For its price tag, I would say it's a reasonable amount of content. Overall, I give this a solid 8.3 repeating out of 12, and I recommend waiting to purchase it on sale unless you are really into platformers, in which case, go ahead and go grab it now. You're gonna have so much fun, it's great. These videos take a lot of work to make, and I'm planning many more in the future, so if you like the content, please go like the video, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on Blue Fire. I also stream on Twitch 4 days a week, so if you want to catch content live and also see some games that don't quite make it to the Steam Cleaning series, go ahead and follow me over there too. Love you, bye.